Speaking Out About Disabilities with Paul Parravano. Insights from MIT staff.
Good morning. My name is Paul Parravano. I'm the co-director of Government and Community Relations here at MIT. I had a retinal cancer when I was 2, so I'm totally blind and have been since I was about 2.5 or 3 years old. So I'm the last of 4 brothers, but I was the only one affected by this retinal cancer. But I have been totally blind most of my life. In terms of outside activities, I have a tandem bicycle and I try to find people to ride with on a regular basis and occasionally participate in longer bike rides, so I like to do that. I also like to go out to restaurants. I enjoy eating out a lot and going to my daughters were both athletes, so I've spent a lot of time going to their games, soccer games, basketball games, and softball. So I have spent a lot of time doing that. Thinking about my work here at MIT, I've been very fortunate to work with people who are very flexible because there are some things probably that are a bit different in working with someone who's blind. When I arrived here, email was just getting started, so I've benefited a lot from the fact that a lot of communications is electronic, and I can participate in that through my computers and different devices that have speech output. But still, one comes across handouts and hard copy print material, and so I try to ask people who I work with to provide material that I need to review or that's going to be passed out at a meeting to send it to me electronically beforehand, because I can read it very easily in that way. So that's one adjustment that I ask people to make, is to minimize the amount of hard copy paper that I'm not able to read independently. In terms of mobility and movement, since I started, I've really gotten quite comfortable with getting around independently. If I'm going to a meeting with someone else and they're going the same direction, there's some advantage to walking with them, because you can they can sort of take over the navigation and you can move a little bit more quickly. But I don't see that really as a major thing. I don't ask someone to take me someplace the way that I had to do years and years ago when I was in college and knew less about how to get myself around. So I think the first thing is probably the issue of people making assumptions and assuming that there are specific ways in which to help a blind person. And blind people are as varied as the population, because they may have lost their sight at a different stage in their lives. There are people who are born blind without any sight. I think that's different too. And some examples might be that people make assumptions that a blind person cannot go up and down stairs, so they'll automatically try to direct you to an elevator. They'll go way out of the way to take you to an elevator instead of doing an escalator or a stairway, which I do all the time. I often have been on an airplane and arrived and someone comes on and they have a wheelchair for me, and I will refuse to get in the wheelchair, which is a little bit unpleasant because here they've done a nice thing, they think, to bring a wheelchair, but there's something about acquiescing to that for me is really unpleasant. I don't need a wheelchair. My disability has to do with my vision, has nothing to do with my legs or ability to walk. And for them to make an assumption that blindness is connected to a mobility impairment is just wrong. And I hate to cater to that and prolong that impression, which is just based on a fallacy.
Thank you for watching Speaking Out About Disabilities, brought to you by DSLX Life Learning and the Disability Employee Resource Group.